There you are. Hi. Come on in. Welcome to Alive. It's very good to see you. So, I got a question for you today. You ready? Do you like who you are? Yeah, I know. There's tea. I'm making tea. Do you want some tea? Let's have some tea. So, somebody asked me that question just the other day, and I honestly didn't know how to answer them. I think I said something like, it's complicated, which is true, if you think about it. Because most days I would say, yeah, I think I generally like myself. That wasn't always true. God knows. But nowadays, sure, I think so. But it varies still a little bit, day to day, moment to moment, mood to mood. Does that make sense? Yeah. But what makes it all really tricky is that we all have so many versions of ourself to like or not like now. You know what I mean? For example, there's the me that my family knows, and that is totally different in a lot of ways from the me when I'm at work or the me when I'm online, for example, which is like a whole other thing. And then there's the me that nobody sees. Here you go. So we're always curating, in a way. We're always sort of presenting these different versions of ourselves for other people. And I guess they're all supposed to be authentic, whatever that means. And if I'm honest, I don't even think I know which one is the real me most of the time. Because I'm constantly clocking what other people are thinking. Do you do that? Yeah. I mean, I'm always editing. I'm always adapting. I'm always like shrinking or expanding or pruning myself to meet other people's expectations. And that can get exhausting. It can really get to you, you know? And so today, I was wondering, what would it be like if we didn't do that? What would it be like if we stopped caring so much about what other people thought? What do you think? Yeah. Come on. Okay. Jamie Lee Curtis can apparently do everything. She is, I mean, what do you even say? She's a radically authentic, multi-generational, complete badass. She's an award-winning actor, former screen queen. She is one of my favorite children's book authors. And for a minute there, she made poop yogurt totally glamorous. Imagine being able to do that. She also won an Academy Award, we all know, for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and an Emmy for The Bear. And I am only 2 seasons into The Bear. And I will tell you that the holiday episode nearly took me out, and I mean it. Like, it messed me up. Okay, but she also apparently stopped giving a shit about what people think of her years ago. And that is my favorite thing about her. She's here. Okay. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Hello, Jamie Lee
hello.
Curtis.
That was a laudatory introduction.
You deserve to be lauded.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think everybody deserves to be lauded. Just some people get a lot more lauding than others.
I agree. I agree with you, actually. But I am thrilled and honored to laud you because I think you are truly awesome.
Is this called a podcast?
Yeah, but it's really like a public access cable show from the
I was going to
90s.
say
That's the way I'm seeing it. You know what I mean?
but I do. But here's my beef. Can
Beef,
I
beef,
opine?
beef, beef.
If it's a podcast, why do we have to be on camera? So I agree that it's more like a public access television. I just think it's hilarious that everybody has a podcast. Not everybody, but people have podcasts now. And they
Everybody.
ask me to do it. And I'm like, great, pick a day. And then I'm like, but it's not on camera, right? And they go, oh, yeah, it is. And they're lit like bitches. You know what I mean? Like they brought in professional lighting people and they have the earphones and the microphones and their chairs are at the right height. And I'm coming in my house,
And we're
where
like,
I'm not lit.
how you doing?
And I have, exactly. And I have no makeup team here. And so it's that world of that. Anyway, what I was going to say to you is I am absolutely calmed whenever you put into the portal into our brains a moment of calm, a
Yeah.
moment of gratitude for nature, a moment of being where, one of my favorite phrases in recovery is be where your feet are,
Oh, I like that.
because we're in our effing heads
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
of our lives. And I'm so buoyed by every time you offer a moment by a river, a moment in a field, a moment of calm, quiet, reflection of this miracle moment, this moment with you. And like, for me, that's enough. I mean, I'm happy to be here with you in your cabin in the woods. But you know what I'm saying?
Well, we do that here on the podcast too. This podcast has like a ton of silence in it.
Right.
There's a ton of listening. I call it the podcast that listens. You know what I mean?
Clever.
But you
Yeah.
asked before, like, why do we have to be on camera? That's, for me, that's why, right? This making this connection to
Yeah.
this weird little pinhole camera that then goes to outer space and then goes to you, making that feel viable and immediate is the one thing in this world I have 10,000 hours of doing, right? That's the only thing I can do.
Yeah. Far out. Far
Right.
out. Far out. Yeah.
And I did like a little shout out video during the pandemic that I didn't write. I just improv'd it. And I was like, hey, what's up? Remember when we used to hang out and whatever? And it was just a very, very simple, care driven, quiet, relaxed conversation. And it blew up. And that made me realize, oh, this is missing in this technology. Right.
Yeah. They call me a weapon of mass promotion because I can sell shit. What we're doing and selling shit is the purpose of the internet.
Yeah.
And some recipes and some research and occasionally acts of kindness that you see that the portal bring to you, that you realize that there are kind and beautiful people in the world. The
That's,
rest of it
I mean, it could be
is,
about those things, but man, I could talk about this shit forever, but like it is optimized for conflict and it is optimized to steal your attention.
it's sort of already doing it. And
Yeah.
if you just even look at unreality television, as you said, it is born out of, let's create a situation so we can create conflict.
Yeah.
I remember when The View
Yeah.
was a TV show in its infancy
Yeah.
with 5 generations of women sharing their experiences from their generational point of view
Yeah.
and their cultural point of view,
Yeah. Yeah.
but in a loving way. And
Yeah.
obviously, what it has turned into is still a good show and there's still good voices on it, but it's really born for conflict
Now
now.
it is. Yeah.
And it is fed. The more conflict, the more, as you said, attention. So I'm aware of that tendency in the universe.
I think we just have to humanize this interaction.
Well, we are.
Yeah, we are. And you do, right? And you are actually a shining example, especially lately, I think, of a human person who is in the media. It's like, oh yeah, I recognize that as a person. You're a giant celebrity, but you're also very human and incredibly authentic and incredibly relatable through all of these lenses, right? And that is a rare thing that we just don't see a lot of that. And with you, it seems like people seem to love you more the less you seem to perform, in these
Yeah, far
environments.
out.
And
Yeah.
the less you kind of conform to whatever the media expectations are, people cheer for that. And I think you're an example of that, an example of
Yeah.
authenticity and for being just a real freaking person. Don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing I have to avoid is getting branded
Yeah.
as authentic.
There you go. Yep.
Be- because a brand, if you think about what really a brand, if when you actually use the word brand,
Yeah.
you're taking something really hot
Yeah.
and you're searing it into the skin of an animal
Yeah.
or a person, and you're claiming it in an ownership way.
Yep.
And I have to be really clear that I don't let myself become the brand of authenticity
I hear you.
because I'm human
Yep.
and I am flawed and I get really angry and I get really, really sad at times. And it's important that I don't get locked into some box of authenticity, that it has to be fluid.
I feel you. I am same. I actually don't like the word authentic very much for that reason. Yeah, I think it's overused. I think human is a
Yeah.
much better word.
Human. Well, because human beings are flawed
Yep.
and contradictory.
Right. I worry that I'm going to disappoint people simply by being a regular human being, which is a weird,
Yeah.
weird thing to think. So I think we need to regularize human beings on the internet. That's what I think.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. But at the same time, we also get to do our life's purpose.
Yeah.
Like I'm not also trying to do this to I'm doing me, and the more I get to do me in the way I feel is naturally me, without the conforming of there's an E.L. Doctorow quote that talks about things getting calcified when things become sort of mythological, old ideas become mythological. In families they become very powerful and they create conformity and they intimidate, and I feel like my whole life there was a lot of that. And to emerge from it with my own mind, with my own soul, with my own creativity, with my own artistry, with my own talent, whatever and however that is, because I was not that person in my early life. That was not my path. And so now I have my own mind. It's actually my mind.
What changed?
Well, getting sober
Yeah.
was a big aspect of it. Under the lash of alcoholism and drug addiction, was not free, really free to be me.
Yeah.
And getting sober was a big step in that direction.
Yeah.
Conquering a family long, generationally long list of family members who fell into the lash of drug addiction, alcoholism, whatever level of that you want to claim it. I'm very lucky. I was a very high bottom person, and it
Now,
was
what
a
does
very
that mean?
secreted.
What does that term mean?
High bottom well, a low bottom means that you've crashed and burned your life. You've lost your relationship, the children have been taken, you've lost your job, your family doesn't speak to you,
Yeah.
you're in debt, that's a low bottom. And high bottom is someone who managed not to lose their marriage, their family, their wealth, their work, their family members, their extended family, their friends. But what makes high bottoms really tricky is the thing you've lost is your self respect.
Yeah.
That if you really are a kind of high bottom user, drinker, whatever, it means nobody really sees it. So the dance is
Mm.
really in here. It's not, they say in recovery, the most dangerous neighborhood to go in is between this ear and this ear. You should go, what is it, like buddy breathing? You always should go with a friend.
Mm.
So if you're going into your brain, you should go with a friend,
Yeah.
because it can be a really dark place. And if you're a high bottom, you're hiding it really,
Yeah.
really,
And
really well.
and effectively, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, masterfully, masterfully.
And
Yeah,
that's sustaining, right? Like you're able to pull it off for a really long time
a
because
really long time.
because you don't crash and burn. You're just sort of
Right. And so,
maintain.
and yeah, and the paparazzi don't have pictures of you asleep in your car or stumbling out of a bar.
Yeah, for sure. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. So, when life gets a little too heavy, as it does sometimes, where do you go? Who do you talk to? Do you talk to your friends? Do you talk to your family? Do you talk to your dog? I know I did. That can be really helpful, right? But sometimes you need a different kind of help. I know in my lived experience, I did. And it was ironic because way back when I was on TV, I used to sit in a chair and look at someone right in the face and ask, will you help me? But it wasn't until I did exactly that in my real life that my life started to change, because the person I was talking to was a licensed therapist, trained to be clinically objective and to provide the kind of help that I needed. And that's where BetterHelp comes in. They really can be that first step. They've been helping people find their online match for like 10 years, and they've got a 4.9 rating out of a 1.7 million client session reviews, which is not bad. And as the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. You can find the one with BetterHelp. And our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/SteveAlive. That's betterhelp.com/SteveAlive. So, do you really not give a shit? You seem like you don't give a shit. Do you? And if so, how did you get there? I want to get there. I give a lot of shits,
What I try not to give a shit about is that what you think of me is none of my business.
Right. I have heard that before and I can't get my brain around it. I think I intellectually understand it, but I can't plug that in.
Yeah, I really do have to operate in a world where it's impossible for everyone to like me.
Mm-hmm.
I am pro-choice.
Mm-hmm.
I have a trans daughter.
Mm-hmm.
There are people in this country who are, actively trying to stop her possibility of existing or denying her existence, who are on the opposite end of the political spectrum from me, who don't like me at all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be quietly political, and I mean that simply to say I don't want to just be a screaming
Yeah.
political person. I want to listen. I want to find common ground. I believe we can find common ground. And how do we make that happen? And I
Yeah.
just think that's the way in. And then, so in that sense, I think it's just important to keep an open mind, understand that a lot of people are not going to like you, and also understand that people can also, you know, be very much in the same path as you and feel allied. You know, almost every day to someone, I write the words, the long and winding road. For me, the long and winding road means we're both on it. And I'm glad we're both on it. That
You
I'm on it with you. I'm on it with you right now, Steve Burns.
same. You're just amazing. I love you. You're
I
awesome. And
love you
you're
too, Steve Burns.
and I mean the moment right now, you are literally everywhere. I mean,
I'm everything everywhere all
I
at once
wasn't
right
gonna
now,
do it.
baby.
I wasn't gonna do
Oh,
it.
why not?
I
Go for
decided
it.
not to do it. I was like, you know what? I won't
Okay.
do that. I'll not do that. But
I'm the other way to say it is I'm ubiquitous, but
I almost
I
did
prefer
that.
everything everywhere all at once.
Sounds better for sure. I think I'm missing stuff too. Like I was writing this little bio to introduce you. There's like 4 or 5 other things going on. There's the reboot. There's the Freak Your Friday.
Yeah, but you know what? Guess what? I didn't come here to sell
I know.
anything.
Yeah, I'm not so much trying to point to projects you're doing as more as I'm just saying like this is a human person with a gajillion eyeballs on them, you know? This is
Yeah,
a person
yeah.
with
I've just finished Hustle, where I've had a gazillion, jillion eyeballs,
you were on a world
and
tour, right?
I did a world tour for Freakier Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I haven't done one of those in a minute. And it
Yeah.
was a hustle. It was
Yeah.
definitely a hustle. It was successful. And Lindsay and I had a great time.
Right.
And I get to be a boss and I get to have ideas and go, ooh, what about that? Ooh, what about this? And I've been waiting my whole life for that. My whole life. I'm 67 this year.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
In a month or two.
Did I read somewhere that you wanted to be a cop?
I got out of high school. I crawled out of high school
Okay.
and thought the best use of me would be to be a police officer, that I have a very strong backbone of law and order.
Yeah.
And I believe I'm a good person. And I thought I'd make a good cop.
Is it weird that I can see it and that it makes a form of sense? Like I can't explain why, but I'm like, oh yeah, I see that. I see that. I can see that happening. I am personally very glad that you became an actress though. I have, we've talked, I'm a fan. But I do want to talk, if you don't mind, just for a second about The Bear, because I'm only 2 seasons in, so I'm kind of saving the rest of it. And everyone has told me what to expect, and I'm like, don't talk about it. But the holiday episode kind of took me out. It kind of makes me emotional because, like, I almost didn't like it. I almost didn't want to see it.
You almost didn't want to see that episode?
I was like, this is making me uncomfortable. You
Yeah.
got so close to something there. And I didn't grow up around alcoholism. I didn't. But I grew up in a volatile place where someone could control the weather and make you wonder is it gonna be okay? And that episode was so on it. It's just so visceral and in the guts that it was honestly just a handful of those performances that I even can place it with, But that's the awesome thing about TV right now. There's so much awesome TV. I mean,
There's
like,
awesome TV.
and that show is like that show is about human people.
Well,
That
but see, that's the point.
Yeah.
Is what I love about the show, and it's Chris Storer
Yeah.
who it's his writing and his directing. I mean, there are other people that write. Joanna Kala writes with him, and other people have written obviously episodes, but for the most part, it's Chris. And what I'm particularly happy about is that, like, you enter this world and you have no idea who these people are to begin with. So just from the beginning, starting a show from scratch, and then you meet this family, and all of a sudden you go, okay, yeah, the brother died, okay, and you start to piece together the story. And I love that you hear about Donna,
Yeah.
but you don't meet her for 16 episodes of the show.
It's quite a buildup.
That for a long time you're watching the result, not of hers alone, because I think it's a combination of factors, but clearly the mother has a huge impact on her children, and then the concentric circles that come off of those relationships.
Yep.
And I just thought it was a it was a miracle for me, and I'm continually grateful for it, and I'm the fact that I ended up getting to do that is a little bit of a miracle. So it was a really extraordinary experience for me.
It was
Absolutely.
It was extraordinary to
Life-changing.
watch. It was extraordinary to
life-changing.
watch. Yeah, I mean, it was some of the most connected things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Life-changing.
So I recently had to hire someone. I needed an assistant, and that was hard. A lot harder than I thought it would be. It was sort of like a needle in the haystack experience. There was all of these resumes, but not enough somehow candidates who had the right stuff, the right skills, the right vibe, the right experience. It can be a hard experience, but not with ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter finds amazing candidates for you fast. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/alive. And they're super fast. Like, ZipRecruiter's smart technology identifies top talent for you quickly. Like, as soon as you post your job, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology starts showing you the most qualified people for that position. So, ditch the other hiring sites. Let ZipRecruiter find what you're looking for, the needle in the haystack. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/alive. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/alive. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. So a couple of years ago, I got signed up for like 1 million Comic-Cons, and I didn't really know what to expect. I just kind of imagined an endless sea of Funko Pops and like a line of stormtroopers waiting to go to the bathroom, which, okay, isn't wrong. But what I didn't expect was this warm, supportive community full of people just getting deeply, unapologetically weird, and no one drags you for it. In fact, everyone is celebrating you for it. These places are really special and really, really, really cool. Now imagine that on a boat. Yes, I'm talking about Comic-Con The Cruise. From January 30th to February 3rd, 2026, sail from Tampa to Nassau on the Celebrity Constellation. It's 4 days at sea. You can meet and hang out with fan-favorite celebs, enjoy one-of-a-kind intimate experiences you can't find at other conventions, and you can skip all the lines that the landlubbers have to deal with. There's theme nights, cosplay, artist alley, which is always my favorite, panels, workshops, late-night conversations, parties. It's a big floating community where you can totally be yourself. Food, accommodation, entertainment are included. The only thing you have to do is show up, have fun, and be yourself with your people. Check out the 2026 talent lineup, including host Felicia Day and a slew of creators celebrating fantasy, sci-fi, and more. Head to ComicConTheCruise.com/alive to learn more and book your cabin. And don't forget to use code ALIVE for $250 off per cabin on new reservations. Comic-Con The Cruise, the ultimate fan adventure. I heard you say somewhere, and it surprised me, that you only recently started to consider yourself an artist.
Well, I said that on television.
Yeah.
I revere art. I revere storytelling. I am a music maniac. I listen to music all day long. Musical poets. Kendrick Lamar is a frickin' poet. Joni Mitchell is a poet. James Taylor is a poet. art, painting, photography, design, cooking. It's all an art form. Being in the movies, being in horror movies and being an actor, I just didn't feel the art of it. I felt like I was a part of something that was great and entertaining and fun,
Right.
but I didn't really think about it as an art form. And I think Everything Everywhere All at Once changed that because
Yeah.
I saw it was a work of art from the beginning. I could tell it was a work of art. And I'm not sure I even accepted that I was an artist in it, but I understood that this was an art form. I didn't understand the art form. I didn't understand really the story. You know, when I learned what the story was about, when they were shooting the sequences in the laundromat,
Yep.
there was the sequence where Ki Kwan and Michelle reunite. And I remember watching it on the monitors with the Daniels. And I remember watching it, and then, like, halfway through that scene, I went, the movie's about love.
Oh.
Oh, oh, the movie's about love. And I realized in a way at that moment, I recognized that it was the greatest art form, right? It combines all the things I just said to you, poetry, music, like it's painting, design, all combining into a motion picture that was a beautiful piece of art. And I think in that moment, I recognized the art of it all.
And you felt I am part of that. This meets my
And
criteria. I
I
am.
felt I am part of that. And I am a color in the painting, and I'm
Yeah.
a note in the music, but I am part of an art form. And, to go from that and then to the bear, I get it. I get it. I don't take, it's not like I walk around like with a hat. I am an
Hello, I am
artist.
Jamie Lee Curtis. I am
I'm
the
an
world's greatest
artist.
living
I'm
artist.
not, I'm just saying it's an art form.
I don't know. I've considered you an artist for a really long time, obviously because I'm a huge fan of your acting, but also your art for children, your voice for children is tremendous and special.
They are my best thing for sure.
I have a
The
bunch of
thing
them
that
back
will,
ready. I have a bunch of them right back
yes,
there.
the thing that will last the longest will be the books that I wrote for children.
They are beautiful.
They will be the best distillation of who I am,
Yep.
and what I think.
Balloons made me cry snot onto my shirt.
So, Balloons, the last 4 pages of Balloons. So, Balloons, for the uninitiated, is a book called Where Do Balloons Go? An Uplifting Mystery. And it's a book about wonder, and it's a book about loss and letting go. Oh, you're showing the book. That's so cute. You're such a good person.
I love this book.
There's also a book that I wrote called Is There Really a Human Race? Which is a book about competition.
Oh, it's smart.
Yes, it's a book about, it uses a race as a metaphor for, is this what life is? Is it just something is it about winning and losing and competition? And do we elbow each other out of the way? And what is it is it a dash? Is it a long thing? Like and this child is very, very concerned and very freaked out. And this child, a little boy, asks the mother, it's like, is it a long race or is it a lifelong dash? If we don't help each other, we're all going to crash. And the child is now panicked that he was entered into the human race, but didn't know that it was just nothing but a shitty, like, reality show competition, and that it was all about surviving, and that we weren't going to survive because we were We were all out for ourselves. And what does that mean? That
Yeah.
means we're going to crash
Right. Right.
if we can't. And then the mother calms the child who clearly sees that he's asking these huge existential, mind bending questions about human beings and what we're doing in the world. And the mommy says this. She says, sometimes it's better not to go fast.
Oh,
They're beautiful sights to be seen when you're last.
come on.
Shouldn't it be that you just try your best, and that's more important than beating the rest? Shouldn't it be, looking back at the end, that you judge your own race by the help that you lend? So take what's inside you and make big, bold choices. And for those who can't speak for themselves, use bold voices and make friends and love well and bring art to this place and make the world better for the whole human race.
Jamie, that's so beautiful. That's so hard to do.
That's my best thing.
Oh,
That's the best thing I will ever do, Steve Burns.
It's
Like,
so
it's
good.
just, I don't know where they come from. You know, I really don't understand where it comes from. But I know that it's my best thing. And this was my little child coming home one day
Oh,
where clearly they were at school and someone said something shitty, like, you shouldn't even be in the human race. And my kid came home, Ruby came home from school with this panicked look on her face. And she said to me, is there really a human race? Like, you bitch, you didn't tell me that you entered me into a race that you didn't tell me I was in or on. And
right.
you were just going to stand over there while I like navigated this racetrack of life and you didn't mention it was a race.
Right.
And I literally I felt so awful that that's what she thought, that I walked in my house and I wrote that book in about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I was going to ask you where all that comes from, and I'm not surprised to say you don't know, you know?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. I
interviewed LL Cool J once because he was in a movie with me. And I interviewed him for Interview Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember during the interview, I said, so you can just freestyle?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, yeah. I was like, okay, you mean you'd freestyle about mashed potatoes? Because we were at a restaurant. And he did.
Yeah, I believe that.
I couldn't believe it. It's like the flow of a rapper, the flow of someone, a poet who can get into the flow of words and ideas, is how I enter that space. Where do balloons go? We were at a kid's birthday party, and it was a very simple birthday party at a public park. And the kids were playing on the structures. The party itself were root beer floats, which is like a gallon thing of ice cream, a big thing of root beer, and red Solo cups. And the party favors were helium balloons tied to a pole. That was it. It was at a public park in the mountains in Idaho. And a storm came, kind of turned black, the sky, and we all took shelter under this sort of gazebo. And all of a sudden the wind whipped up and it got really intense. And a little kid was like tugging on the string of the balloons. And all of a sudden they were untied from the pole and they all shot out into the sky.
Oh, okay.
And they were like all these crayon colors against dark gray sky. And everybody went like, ah! And we watched them dance and like move like crazy. And a little girl named Rachel Evans pulled on her mommy's sweater standing right next to me. And she said, Mommy, well, where do balloons go? And I swear I was like struck by lightning. I felt like I was like, oh, and I grabbed Ruby and I ran to my car and I kind of put Ruby in the car seat, drove home fast, got Ruby out of the car seat, handed Ruby to Chris and said, don't talk to me. And I walked into a room, laid down on the floor and wrote, Where Do Balloons Go? In about 15 minutes.
See, that's wild. This was I love this book.
It's a great book. It's a great book.
Have you ever heard that saying, that which fortune gives us does not belong to us?
No, but I dig it. No, I totally love it.
Yeah, it's like...
I love exactly that.
I believe that's true. I believe those things, they're not ours. You know, they kind of choose us and we do them. You know?
I have to believe that because the last thing I thought I would do that day was write a book.
Yeah.
And then this moment happened, and then I laid down on a floor and wrote, Where do balloons go when you let them go free? It can happen by accident. It's happened to me. And then where do they go when they float far away? Do they ever catch cold? Need somewhere to stay?
Yeah.
And of course, where they're staying in my book is the Bates Motel.
Right. Don't they go to Bolivia and stuff? They go all over the world, don't they? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Well, you have an uncommon voice for this, right? And over the years, I've developed strong opinions about content for children and like what works. And I always think it's about A game. You know, I think a lot of people don't bring their A game to kids stuff, and they don't bring what we were talking about before, which is this deeply human perspective. Like I always say, you got to sing to the whole child, right? Most people give kids yay or aw, but they don't talk to them about loss, right?
Well, somebody referred to these books as self-help books for kids.
Yeah, well,
which wasn't my intention, but my intention was also not to make something like innocuous. Like it had to have, if the book doesn't make me cry, it's not my book.
Right. I got you. I feel that. Yeah. You just include all of the human stuff. It has human ballast.
Fun.
It's for children, but it's full of human ballast. I always talk about how Bert is the most human character that lives on Sesame Street. He is much more human than Maria or Luis. Dick, I can imagine Bert at work. You know, like Bert is not moving.
Bert at work, by the way. Bert at work. Where's that book?
That's a good book, right? That dude does not move comfortably through the world. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, and yet it's for kids, and yet it's awesome. I don't want to keep you forever, Jamie. Actually, I do. I would like that, but I shan't do that.
No, you shan't.
I shan't. But you shan't. But you're incredibly amazing and incredibly wonderful, and
I'm happy to know you, and I'm happy to be alive with you, Steve Burns.
Oh my gosh! Thanks for dropping by. We really appreciate it.
It was nice to see your cabin and to be in your cabin for a minute. And
well, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you. I look forward to coming back. Thanks for asking me. Yeah. And thanks for your quietude and your reminders, which I pay attention to every time you offer one. I take the moment. I actually take the moment for stillness and quietude.
I love it. I love it. This was wonderful. Thank you, Jamie.
God bless you. Take care. And bye, everybody. Bye. See ya.
Bye.
No, don't close me down. No.
Okay, full disclosure. I love Jamie Lee Curtis, and I have for a very long time, so I got a little lost. And I had like 200 more questions here to ask her, and I did not get to them. But I did have a lovely time, and I did learn lots of wonderful things, and I did write some stuff down. I wrote down, be where your feet are. I like that one. I think, obviously it means be in the moment, be with the moment and with the people who are here now in front of you, and let all the uncontrollable stuff go be uncontrollable, like other people's opinions, which brings me to the next thing I wrote down, which is what other people think of you is not your business. I've heard that before. It's one that I kind of struggle with, but I do think it's right. I mean, you literally can't control what everyone thinks of you all the time. You really can't make everyone happy everywhere all the time all at once. It's not a thing. So maybe it's not about giving no shits. Maybe it's about deciding which shits to give. What do you think? Yeah. Let's go. So, the entire world is basically trying to influence you at all times, right? And that means that your attention is basically a currency. And what you spend it on matters. I mean, you can spend it on outrage, and the world feels angrier. You can spend it on kindness. The world feels a little softer. And the thing is, you only have so much to spend, right? It's a finite resource. So what will you spend your attention on today? Yeah. You know, I'm glad we're doing this. This is cool. This podcast, this is fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming. You look great. Alive with Steve Burns is a Lemonada Media original. If you haven't subscribed to Lemonada Premium yet, now's the perfect time. You can listen to the show completely ad-free, plus you'll unlock exclusive bonus content from me as I reflect on this episode. Just press subscribe on Apple Podcasts, head to lemonadapremium.com to subscribe on any other app, or listen ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership. That's lemonadapremium.com. Alive is hosted by me, Steve Burns, and produced by Jeremy Slutskin. Our editor is Christopher Champion Morgan. Our associate producer is Akshaz Tharabailu. Audio engineering by James Sparber. Lemonada's SVP of weekly programming is Steve Nelson. Executive producers are Jessica Cordover-Kramer, Stephanie Whittles-Wax, and me. We'll see you next week. And you look great, by the way.